Rise and shine, Chicago. It's May 15th, 2013, and you're listening to another episode of
Bites Over Bagel!
It's Chicago's favorite tech morning show. With me, as always, is one Miss Heather Brown.
What you want?
One Mr. Barata Mackey.
Oh, I forgot we were doing this.
And everyone's favorite nemesis, Dave Seidler.
I always like sitting on the left of Brett.
I'm your host, John Osler.
Sitting bitch between me and Brett.
Yeah, that's right.
Ooh, I do like that, actually.
Oh, my God.
Knocked him down.
We just lost 5 listeners. We got another great show for you guys today. Featured on today's show is...
Phil Tadros!
Oh, God. 10 more listeners.
10 more listeners just dropped off. We also are featuring 4 new startups for Chicago Tech Startup Madness.
Yes.
Ooh, week two.
Week 2 of 8. We got a lot of shows, so let's get on to it. The title of today's episode is...
Every day feel hustling.
Coffee is brought to you by BowTrust. Check them out at bowtrust.com.
It's now time for our new segment, Chicago
Tech
Startup Madness. So this new segment, we are featuring 4 new Chicago startups every week for the next 6 weeks now. This is our second week in. And the voting's done through Twitter, so stay tuned. We'll tell you how to vote at the end here. So, may we begin, Brett?
Let's do it. Oh, you want me to go first? Yes. I'm rolling fresh off the press today with a little company called Traveler. That's spelled Trablr. So, what's Traveler going to do? They're going to hook you up with a one-stop shop to book your entire trip using only peer-to-peer sharing sites. So, everybody know what a peer-to-peer sharing site is?
No.
When it comes to travel, anybody?
Airbnb style?
Yeah, Dave, you got it. So Airbnb, classic example. Someone has a room in their apartment that is empty and they can make it available to rent. You can sign up. You can go live there for a while. Pretty sweet. Economical way to travel. So there's all different forms of like peer-to-peer sharing. So there's apartments, there's cars, ride shares, you name it. There's all of those. So there's a whole ton of websites out there that kind of manage all of that stuff. So what are they doing? They're bringing them all in-house. So let me set the stage for you, you little...
here we go.
You little checkaroos. You're heading to the Grande Apple to look for some seed moolah, and you don't want to burn up your pocketbook on travel expenses, do you? No. So, you're looking for a little fun and excitement too? What you gonna do? You're gonna head to Traveler, and first thing, you're gonna book a ride share from the airport to your Airbnb-style apartment share. Traveler's then gonna hook you up and lock down a car share so you can cruise solo through the financial district screaming, "I need cash," out of the T-tops of some bitchin' Camaro. And then they'll set you up to log some hours at your office or desk where you can filter through all the ballers who want to court you. I'm telling you what, all Traveler's missing is a spouse share. Not my wife, though, not my wife. So, in short, Traveler is the Kayak or Expedia of the sharing economy. They're partnered up with some big players, y'all, like HomeAway and FlipKey. Yeah, so anyway, I was talking to Eddie Patch over at 1871 the other day, and he's telling me that most people go to 4 different sites before they book their share or rental. Heather, you can help me out right now, but ain't nobody got time for that. And Eddie knows it. All right, I'm also digging on the name, right? Traveler.
Why do they not have vowels?
It's a mashup. It's a mashup of Traveler and collaboration. And frankly, it's going to redefine the traveler. Are you going to be a traveler? Or are you going to be a traveler? A frickin' futuristic traveling genius who probably wears some cool kicks and listens to some cool music. So basically, I'm going to be a traveler someday. Y'all should be too. So let's keep them around, you know. I know Orbitz has been the traveler's sweetheart of Chicago for a long time. But Traveler's about to put the leash on that mofo and flood this world with some travelers. Join us. Boat 'em up, boat 'em up, boat 'em up, Traveler.
I am featuring Gift Bar. Check them out at giftbar.com. I met these ladies a year ago at a Starbucks, and now they're funded. They're in Chicago, New York, and LA. It is a digital gift card marketplace with curated high-end local boutiques, salons, spas. You can buy and send digital gift cards to your friends and family for presents, for just because. And it's pretty awesome. You can also mail it to them, snail mail, but digital is the future. I would suggest going on giftbar.com. You can set an amount. You can send them a gift bar of choice. They can use the gift card at any location on their website, and you can use it at multiple locations. This idea is amazing. These guys are awesome. Guys, ladies are awesome. Check them out, giftbar.com. The most powerful thing about this is I can be anywhere in the world, and I can send my friend or family member a gift card to their local boutique on their street. You cannot do that anywhere else, people. You'd have to go to CVS or Express, and let's be honest, those suck. No one wants an Express gift card on their birthday. It sucks.
Unless you're like 13 or 12.
Yeah, if I'm 12, I might
Because
want one.
that's like cool points, because you'd wear the shirt that actually said like Abercrombie on it
Ooh,
or something.
right. Is
saying.
Abercrombie even around anymore?
Sure.
Sure.
You
Sure
can
it is.
smell it in every mall.
Yeah, you can.
Heather, what you got?
What you want, guys?
Whatever you got.
What you want, Mackie? What artist, what music group do you want to see that's never come to Chicago? Name it. Go.
Tom Waits hasn't been here in a while. Let's say that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So you want an artist, you want to see an artist, and they don't have the funding to tour.
Oh, he
so
does.
you go on to gigfunder.com, gigfunder.com.
Do they have an ER, or is it just an R like Tabler?
Oh, no, there's an ER. They got some vowels. They're trying to, So you go to gigfunder.com and you tell your artist, you say, hey, sign up for gigfunder.com. And they enter their touring expenses, and they go on, and then they put all their expenses in there. And then individual fans can create campaigns to bring this artist to their city. So it's pretty legit because, artists don't have a lot of money to tour. Fans want to see them, so this kind of enables them to go and come to the city.
Love
So
it.
pretty legit. And it's not just for musicians. It's also for like touring dance troops or, whatever else can tour. So it's pretty neat. Gigfunda.com. John, what you got?
Okay. Better weekdays. Does anyone like better weekdays? Does anyone need better weekdays?
Everyone needs a better
Is that
weekday.
question?
One of the reasons we started the show is because Wednesdays are terrible. Wednesdays are terrible days. So now,
We're just so angry right now doing the show.
so now we're having the best days. Wednesdays are my favorite day of the week. Mm-hmm. Easily. Well, let me tell you, Better Weekdays wants you to be more successful. And they're going to do that by looking at what motivates you, what your abilities are, and what your personality are. And they have an assessment called JobScript on their site. You basically take this assessment, and as a result of taking this assessment, you can learn more about or have more clarity about the best fit job opportunities. You can use this to enhance your interview performance. And it's really enabling targeted professional development. It's really meant to to learn more about you and use that information to help you get a better job. Now, this is a twofer because that would be nice. That's professional development. You pay a lot of money for things like this when going to these clinics and meetups and things like that. In addition to that, they actually help in job placements. So I, as an employer, can actually get involved with Better Weekdays, network with them, take some assessments, and those individuals in the site that best compare to my company will get offered to me to line up interviews. So what's great about this is, you've got your LinkedIns and you've got your career builders and things like that, which are very sort of one-way communication. People are saying, please send me resumes. What Better Weekdays does is really gets to the core of who you are. It gets to the core of what company you are, and really sort of is like a matchmaker between those two things. So they really are creating better weekdays for professionals. You guys have got to check this out. It's Chicago-born company. Chris and Canal, co-founders here in Chicago. They've been kicking ass from day one, and I will tell you, they are growing very quickly. So get in now before they're too famous to talk to you. BetterWeekdays.com. If you want effing better weekdays, you've got to go to BetterWeekdays.com at BetterWeekdays. All right, so we have 4 more startups. From the first week, we still have voting opening for
Moxie Jean Kids.
Vinyl me, please.
Zealous good.
and Dabble. Okay, so you're going to find those on our website. And now we have 4 more contenders.
Traveler.
Gift Bar, giftbar.com.
Gig Funder.
And Better Weekdays. So, voting opens today for today's 4. Voting closes next week for the first group we had before, and you're going to see a bracket sort of lie out on our website there, so you'll be able to check out the progress. Now, how to get involved? Voting is done through Twitter. Oh no, none of you have Twitter accounts, I'm sure. Using the hashtag Chicago Tech Startup Madness. Yeah, that's all one hashtag with one of the companies with their @ sign, Dabble HQ probably.
At Zealous Good.
At Vinyl Me,
Gig
please.
Funder.
At Gift Bar Shy.
At Traveler.
At Moxie Jean Kids.
At Moxie Jean Kids.
At Better Weekdays, etc. By doing so, those will tabulate the results. After round 1 is done, going on to round 2, keep voting, and we're going to have a sweet prize pack, get them on the show. And we should also mention that each show, 2 weeks of voting. You get 2 weeks. Originally, we were thinking maybe 8. That was kind of long. 2 weeks. We changed the format because that's what we do. Any questions?
It's our show.
Make sure to check out giftbar.com. Best place ever.
God, you
Man, oh
son of
man,
a
you are a
sandbag.
sandbagger. Yeah. Wow.
All right, that concludes today's Startup Madness.
Do you want some bagels? Head on over to New York City Bagel Deli and Catering. Get your kettle baked goodness today.
Today's feature interview is with Phil Tadros. He is the founder and CEO of a little shop in town called Doejo, which everyone's heard of already, and a whole bunch of other stuff. He has entrepreneurial ADD, our favorite kind. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So let's get into it. Can you tell people? So there are approximately 10 people listening who don't know who you are or what you do. So could you just give us a little overview of how you introduce yourself at like a club or something like that?
I guess it's difficult sometimes, but I'm the founder of Doejo. We're a creative agency, designs and develops pretty much anything on the internet, on your phones, retail stores, events. So basically design, development, we launch businesses and campaigns.
Cool. And do you ever get into the other products as well, the other companies that you're running?
Yeah, sometimes with clients we become partners, and sometimes we launch our own brands internally, and we have a coffee roastery and beer brew. Am I supposed to talk about all this? You want me to?
Maybe just a taste. We'll get into it.
Yeah. Go ahead. Do what you want.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
do what you want.
we'll deep dive off those.
Yeah.
We've opened a bunch of different projects at companies, and we're doing more, and we're excited.
Awesome.
Phil, tell us how you became an entrepreneur.
I think I've always been an entrepreneur. From throwing large keggers in the woods underage to, dropping out of school at 19 and opening up a dive coffee shop on the least traveled train stop in Chicago. I think I've always, hustled and worked, and, I've always enjoyed the fact that, everything's kind of made up and you can go make up your own stuff.
Does it run in the family, or did you have any?
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
mentor?
my dad was a big entrepreneur, and he definitely, instilled in me to not really be afraid of anything, and I was never worried about, can I do this? I was always kind of like, when the fuck can I do this? Even as a kid, I was just like, I didn't want to go to school. I was always kind of like, when do I get to go do stuff? So I've always wanted to, for sure.
tell us about everything that you're doing. Like, just give us a brief breakdown of like the companies that you're currently involved with. And
I'm going to give you most of them.
okay,
So there's Doejo. We do a lot of design development, like I said earlier, but we also do physical spaces, and I mean we have our GC license, and we do construction too. So, so there's Doejo, Bo Trust. We launched an amazing coffee roasting company, and great team, great partners, and it's going really well because the product's awesome. And Strange Pelican is a brewery at Fulton and Damon. It's under construction right now.
when is that set to launch officially?
I hate to say it because it's always going to get pushed back because it's just a monster project. I mean, everything's great. It's just like the reality. I mean, we're like digging through cement, trying to figure out like with the 15 barrel system, and we're gonna, if we grow fast, then we're gonna have to put a 15 on top of the 15, and then we have a 30, and is the cement gonna hold it? And so it's a crazy project, and the emails daily are just unbelievable with the details that are going into this. And so I'm gonna guess 5-6 months.
Okay,
Cool.
that's awesome. So the beer is already created. You're just waiting for the space to get established. And
Well, everything started because we met Eric, and well, I was at Counterculture, and I saw these beer bottles on the wall on the shelf, and I was like, "These look really cool. The illustrations are great. Whose beer is this?" You know, and I started learning more about it, and then I finally got to this guy Eric. I had to reach out to him via email because he had friends around him that were kind of like, "Oh, we'll partner with you," and I was kind of like, "Who is the guy?" And so I finally had to just go on my own and just email him, you know, and find his email. And after trying the beer and talking to some people, I was like, "This guy's great. He's a great guy, and he knows what he's doing, and you know, he just needs a push." And so we rounded up capital around him and kept him, you know, majority because we feel like he's the talent, and we're just building a company.
so Eric who?
McNeil,
Eric McNeil, brewmaster.
yes,
Nice.
Boom.
true. He's roasting coffee with us too. I mean,
Oh, that's
Sweet.
awesome.
he's got a great palate. He's a smart guy. He gets along with, you know, Dennis, our master roaster, and, you know, Dennis wants to brew over there as well. And so they're buds.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Industrious.
Industrious is exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. When is that?
It's right now it's under construction,
Very
but it's a 17,000 plus shared office space. Basically, it's more private offices than a larger co-working space. We're just looking to have like less distractions and have, you know, more companies that are not established, but they're in business. You know, 2 to 10 people offices, small open co-working space, a lot of shared offices or private offices, and it's a great team from New York, and they reached out to me, and we get along great, and we're got awesome response so far, and people are booking their offices already. We hope to be open in August, and it's pretty impressive. And we're negotiating leases for a second space in the Loop and some other spaces as well.
So, all right, we got Doejo, Bo Trust, Industrious, Broker. What's up with that?
Brokers are a real estate site that is broker first. So we're just trying to figure out, like, instead of going to a site and reaching out to 20, 12, whatever realtors because you're looking for something, let's try and find you the right match with your broker first, because, you know, connect with the right broker and let them represent you rather than just emailing 20 brokers and having 20 brokers respond to you. So we're still doing a lot of tweaks. We're raising capital for it right now, and should be good.
So food and beverage can be really tough, a tough vertical, and you're doing a lot in that space. Can you talk about, like, what are the keys in that area to succeed?
I don't know. I think just quality. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's going to eat and drink, and if you have good quality, you know, I don't know anybody that's kept good quality that's, you know, done poorly or have gone out of business. Usually if they
Cool.
grow really big, the quality suffers, but they're already big and they keep growing. But usually if you keep it, you know, small and keep quality high, and, you know, the brand makes sense, I don't know, it should be fine. I don't really worry about things, I guess, like that. Like,
Yeah.
I really enjoy just doing it and seeing what happens. I think I just enjoy watching what happens. I don't know.
So whenever we have someone on that has like a lot of things going on at once, I always wonder, what's their week look like, or how do they kind of juggle it all? So you got your hands in so much,
It's nonstop. I mean, it's just like emails and texts and phone calls and meetings, and you really just hire well. If you hire good people and you let them do their thing, then you're great. My first shop ever, I was 19 years old, and I was like, from washing the toilets to slicing meat, nowhere near each other in the same time, because obviously that'd be disgusting. But but I waited every table, and like we're running this little place, and I was kind of obsessed in the beginning about like kind of plating something this way or doing that, and that's cool and all, but I kind of learned to kind of let go, let other people do it, comment. But I started becoming more curious about what other people would do in a situation if you didn't even tell them what to do. And I kind of really played with that experiment big time. In my next space and venue is this 5,000 square foot hotel lobby and ballroom. It was a music venue I had from 20 to, 25 or something. And it was just a free for all. And I was just watching everybody and I was trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do. And so I just learned a lot about people, and I think I'm good at, letting the right people in, hopefully, and letting them go.
Can you talk about your approach to raising capital and how you've been able to fund in so many ways?
Yeah, it's pretty natural, actually. Like I said before, I'm kind of doing it with or without. I'm just like, I'm doing this. And then people are like, I want to do that too. And then I'm like, okay, do you want to pitch in? And then I usually just say, well, what can you pitch in? Because if you can put 100K in or 200K or 300K, then we can start making up what would be a fair equity part of it. And that's really it. And it's been pretty organic, it's just been in conversation. I literally don't, for the most part, go to anybody and say, hey, I need money, I have an idea, ever. I'm pretty much doing it, and just in conversation, people are attracted to it because it's happening, and that's really, if I think about all of them, it's really that's it. It's all been just organic in conversation. I'm doing this, I have an idea. When it's a physical space, a lot of times, having the space, you anchor in everybody because it's happening. There's a space, there's action, or, having a brand, or having your shit together to some degree, but once you start, like I'm responsible for lots of different projects that are, in business, and people are working and growing and numbers are up always, so it's like when you start doing that a couple times, then everybody's kind of like, I'm going to give this guy my money, and so now it seems like, it's just been awesome with the people that have been like super trusting and supportive of all these projects, and it just seems like it's just becoming easier and easier because there's just more of a track record. But I still have a lot to prove and do because I got to make sure that all these things, succeed.
So how many, are there a lot of projects that failed that you've done?
Yeah, it depends how you look at it. Not to be cheesy, but a lot of my failures are successes in my brain because I learned a lot and whatever. It's totally cool. But yeah, like Noble-Tree, for example, is a coffee shop that I've had, and it's always been packed. But
yeah, I love that place.
Yeah,
I used to live right over there.
Yeah, but no one knows that I've never made $1 from there, not one. Like literally, I used to spend out of pocket like $3,000 a month just to keep it open, because I was just embarrassed to close it. I just felt like I got to keep it open.
How long was it open for?
2-3 years.
Yeah.
This is the problem with that location is I fell in love with the building. I don't love that strip in particular for commerce, and people don't walk up things in and out fast. It's just, having the house and having the 3-floor walk up, whatever, it's charming for people to camp out and not buy a lot.
Right.
But as far as like in and out is probably 70% of your business, and we missed out on that part of it. And so, who's the dude from 500 Startups? He was like, fail fast. I kind of like that because it's like, if he gives you $50,000 and you fail fast, it's better because he doesn't have to give you more money. You better find out fast that whether this thing's going to work or not. So, one of the hardest things, being an entrepreneur and being passionate about something, your project that you've done, or it's when you're at a casino, not that I go to casinos, but just for the analogy, but if you're at a casino and you're, there and you're losing and and you keep playing because you think you're going to get your money back, you got to stop. That's stupid. So if the business is constantly losing, you have to cut the cord and just not make it a big deal. I remember reaching out to Seth too at the time because we were starting Bow Trust, and I was like, dude, I'm like, this place I want to close, and I'm just embarrassed about it. He was like, oh, that's a tough decision, but I'd probably close it. And I was like, and then there was like something in the building that was going to cost a lot, and the landlord's being whatever, and I was like, this is a good time. I'm closing it because I had no lease at the time and it didn't matter, so I just closed it. And but yeah, I mean, there's been failures, tons of them,
So with Doejo, how do you go about recruitment for that, or how did you grow that?
People just show up, but it grew out of the coffee shop. I mean, I lived above Dollop, and I literally sat there, and I was working on my own startup. I wanted to create. This was like 7 years ago. I wanted to create a Craigslist with like eBay credibility. I was just like, profile and just some rating so that the person you're buying stuff from, or because I used it Craigslist for like hiring and buying and doing things, and so I just wanted to create like my own version of Craigslist or whatever, and so I had to round up developer, designer, and people just because I knew a lot of people in the community and in the shop, and just talking about what I was doing, people knew I was in that world now, building digital worlds and products. So people kept asking me for help with theirs, and people kept paying us, and we literally like grew out of the shop. We were just sitting there working. I brought my desktop down to the shop. I had a table, like an office. It was like the Fonz, but out of the bathroom. Seriously. And it's funny thinking about it, but I actually, for like a year, I just sat there in the shop with my desktop. I just wake up.
I was like, who's this guy?
Dude, I would just wake up excited about like some idea, and I come down, get a cup of coffee in my pajamas. Yeah, I lived above it, literally.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And when I was under construction building Dollop, Zhenya, who's our head of video and a good friend of mine, he was moving out of the apartment, and I was like, this thing's available. And he moved to the apartment next to it, so he was my neighbor.
That's awesome.
And so I was like, oh man, I just moved right in. It was ridiculous. It was like the timing was insane. And then there was so Brian O'Quinn met Timur, Roman, and Masha, and they were here from Russia, and they were doing construction and like trying to get a gig, and they're just brilliant people. I mean, like there are like lead badass architects, like badass art engineers that needed a gig, and I was like, what do you guys need? And we like did paperwork, we like fought for them, and like helped them out, and now they're all legal and great, and everything's awesome, and they're just brilliant people that have been with us for a long time. That's an old story because now it's been so long, but so I mean that's how a lot of it started, and Darren, I met at Nobletree. He was working on it on something. I looked at his laptop just passing by, and I was like, this guy's a fucking awesome designer. And so I started giving him gigs, and we just snowballed into like bringing him to meetings, and then we just kind of complimented each other really well. And he, was a friend, and he also believed in me and how I like did things. He's kind of like, it was like, I trust this guy. Okay, this is fun. Let's see what happens, And so we just got lucky and kept closing deals and had fun.
It's now time for the most important question of the interview. What is your favorite bagel, and how do you like it prepared?
Now that I'm gluten-free, anything Udi's, that's your plug, get sponsorship money. Anything Udi's.
Udi.
So where should people find out more about what you're doing? Where would you like them to go?
Philco Extra. Philco Extra is my Tumblr blog that I've been doing since like 2008, and I have like all my links on there and my whole photo blog on there. But just if anybody wanted to email me for anything, obviously Phil at Doejo, but yeah, I guess my blog. I don't look at it. It's just I publish and it sends to all these other places or whatever. But I guess that's it. Philco Extra.
Sweet.
Cool. Yeah. Well, Phil, thanks for your time. You are like, to us, really like Gozer,
Who's Gozer? Should I know
the
this?
Destroyer, the Destructor from Ghostbusters.
Oh, man.
And from the standpoint
was
of
Ghostbusters filmed here?
No.
New York.
Oh, because somebody on Instagram, somebody took a photo of the building and they're like, Ghostbusters is filmed here. And I was like, I thought they were in Chicago. But I guess not.
Phil, get out of here. Chicago? Are you kidding me?
I thought so. Then I was going to be like, I want to watch it again. I'm curious.
I'm going to keep all that in the show. Well, yeah, thanks again for your time, and obviously best of luck to all your new ventures, including the ones
Appreciate it.
that we're not allowed to know about with Streetwise yet.
Oh, no, I just reached out. But you're trying to close. I should have just shut up, right?
Yeah.
I gotta
That's
shut
cool.
up.
We'll keep that in, too. All right, thanks. We're good.
Filling in the gaps today is The Hobbyist. This is by far one of my favorite bands we've filled the gaps with. You can check them out at hobbyistband.com or on bitesoverbagels.com.
And this concludes episode 13 of Bites Over Bagels! Join us on the show next week where we'll have
John Tova, the CTO of Chicago.
Super legit.
Super Legit. Also,
legit to quit.
Also, check out Twitter, because Twitter is where the voting is happening for our 4 startups this week. So there's 8 altogether in the build. So check that out. We'll have those names posted on our website, bitesoverbagels.com. You can also check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and iTunes.
And Instagram.
And now Instagram. Ooh, inside scoop shots.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's our show. It's a long one. So we'll see you next week.
But you didn't bank on the wanderers from the res and all their res riding friends.